All personnel, clear the launch platform.
All personnel, clear launch platform. Disneyland is your land.
The Leaving Today podcast, the show about the news, history, and attractions of the Disneyland Resort.
Disneyland is your land.
Well, come on, Wendy. Let's go.
But where are we going?
To Neverland.
Neverland.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is a little different start. There's a lot of things that happen in this world that are out of our control, and one of those would be what is currently happening in my hometown. Grew up in Los Angeles. Thankfully, my family that is down there and many of the places that I grew up haven't been affected, but I also realize that there are many, many homes and many families that have been affected. So I wanted to take a second to thank all the first responders, everybody working their asses off to save lives, to save property, and to mitigate the utter disaster of that fire. So I just want to take a second to thank all of you working hard. If you hear this, thank you from us, and our thoughts and prayers go out with everyone affected by this disaster.
Hello, hello, and hello. Welcome to the Leaving Today podcast, episode number 213. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, this afternoon, this evening, whenever it is, and however you are listening. We very much appreciate it. My name is Mark, one of the co-hosts here of the Leaving Today podcasts. Sitting to the right of me is the Trail Master of Puppets himself, Udi.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Better. Thank
Great,
you. Yeah.
Great to hear that. Great to hear that. And sitting to the left of me via FaceTime is Becky.
Hello.
Hello, Becky. You know, we need to have a nickname for you.
We got to figure
I
one
know.
out.
We got to figure that out. And we will, listeners, if you want to chime in on that, please let us know. All you listeners, give us an idea of what we can call Becky, and keep it nice, please.
Please.
Please. If this is
Like
your
HR.
Yeah, we don't HR to call. If this is your first time listening to the show, and we know there are other podcasts out there, but if you're listening to us, thank you so much for doing that. It does mean a lot to us. Mm-hmm. And I do want to say one, and also, if you are a longtime listener, welcome home. You know where it's at. Today we're talking about a trip report. I just got back for a couple of days at the parks with my daughters for my birthday, and we have the news. A quick couple of things. Today's show is brought to you by you, the listeners, and we make that super simple. Go to leavingtodaypodcast.com. We have a support tab on there, and we have a Patreon link, and that will help us with hosting fees, and sometimes we get to buy new gear. And that's really what it goes to. It doesn't go to coffees or, ice creams or churros or anything like that.
Not at all.
It really does support the show.
Yep.
And also, we have T-shirts from TeePublic. We have a merchandise tab on our website, and you can do that there too. That definitely helps us. Other couple things. Number one, if you're listening to this show, I want to say thank you in general. If you're listening to a podcast, whether it's this podcast, because I know you're listening to it, because I'm talking to you, or any podcast, I want to say thank you so much. When you do that, you are supporting independent thought and creativity, and I think that is super, super important.
Can I add on to that?
You may at any time.
Okay, so I want to make sure you got everything out.
No, I was just going to say that I think when you're listening to any podcast, you are supporting communities, you're supporting independent, creative thoughts outside of the mainstream. And that's something I think is very important. And we all have a voice in this. Go on, Udi.
Okay, and I piggybacking off of that. In this day and age, we all realize that information and community and there are so many things out there. And to be honest, today, if I'm correct, I'm going to mark it. I'm going to timestamp it with this statement. TikTok got banned today, I believe, in the United States.
I don't even
believe-
go on. I don't have it.
I know I don't either, but here's my
It
point.
did.
Okay, it did. Here's my point with that. In this day and age, we have so much social, and I'm air quoting, social media out there. We have bifurcated a lot. And so when we create a community like we've done here with podcasting and this, it is a good thing to rally around and have independent voices talking to each other. Now more than ever, it is important for people of all stripes, ideologies, religions, sexes, the whole thing, to speak and to speak their mind. But I want to also add to is also listen. So when we speak and you guys listen, that isn't lost on any of us in this space. Most podcasters that I know, all podcasters I know, are genuine people who are genuine about what they think and what they say. And so by listening, you don't have to support monetarily or any other way. While we do appreciate that, the bigger thing is your time. And time for all of us is a critical, finite, delineation. Time doesn't change. So when you give us your time and your ears, it is greatly appreciated. And like I was saying, in this day and age, it is important for everyone to listen to us, to listen to somebody else, listen to other podcasts, not only listen to us, but listen to more voices. We're all guilty of finding a echo chamber,
Sure.
And to fight that is incredibly important. So thank you for listening, but above all, thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was totally unscripted. There you go.
Yeah.
And one more thing before we get to the news, LTP listeners, I just do want to point your attention to our LTP Lounge every other Thursday. It's coming up this Thursday, which will be when the show comes out, probably the Thursday after. But do check our Instagram because that's when we're going to advertise it. The LTP Lounge is in. It's going to be every other Thursday from 6:30 to 7:30 Pacific time, Indy time for those of you in the know. And really, what it is an opportunity for you to engage with us, and us to engage with you. It's us. We're gonna Udi and I and Becky and whoever wants to come on. It'll at least be Udi and I, and we're gonna talk about probably 2 or 3 different topics within the hour, and we will welcome your comments, welcome your questions. If you want to come on the show via video, please do let us know. We are cool like that. If you want to hang out and lurk in the chat and ask questions, absolutely cool with that too. But it's just a way for us to talk to you and get to know you guys better, and just to talk about Disney related topics at a deeper level.
Yep. And to add to that, there are plenty of people in the YouTube space that will do a live here, but they'll put out a lot of videos and whatnot. All good.
Yeah.
The reason why predominantly that we want to do that and continue to do it is because we want to have that in the moment interaction with the people watching. So if you do run on over and are sitting there while we're chatting, I encourage you, please type in the chat. We read everything.
Yep.
I actually want to get to a point where we can't read everything because we're going to have too many. I mean, that would be great.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, that is what we're there for.
Yeah.
That we want interaction with you who are listening and watching. That way we can answer directly, and we're pretty open. I think anybody who's listened to our show for long enough realizes that we're pretty much open books. We're open, honest. We give honest opinions and thought. We don't fake anything. So that is why we're there, and I would encourage everybody to please go over there. Like Mark said, every other Thursday, 6:30 Indy time, and then if you want to lurk. But I would take it personal if you just lurk and you don't chime in. At least like a hey, yo, what up?
Yeah, what up?
Glad to see you. Glad you're here. Like Jason did the other day. All Jason really did, he said a couple of things and jumped in and said, glad you guys are back here. And that was great.
Yeah.
That was awesome from him to hear. So to hear from him.
Sure.
So So please, head on over and another way to encourage a dialogue.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's all we're trying to do. Encourage a dialogue. Encourage community. Encourage thought. Encourage free thought. And encourage just vocalizing and not being afraid to speak.
Yep. So yeah, Becky, if you're ever free on every other Thursday night, you're welcome to come on in.
Well, I forgot to put
Yeah.
the exception onto that one, except Becky.
Oh yeah, except Becky.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not wanted, but everybody else's opinion matters.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. So LTP Lounge every other Thursday, and thank you again for listening to a podcast. And
Yeah.
we are very happy it's our podcast.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Any opening questions tonight? Anyone have anything to talk about to get this party started?
Different.
Okay.
What I know, okay, podcast. Since you brought it up,
Yeah.
I'm curious, and I know a couple. What other ones do you listen to? And you, Becky, I honestly, this is going to sound like maybe like I'm a jerk, but I don't listen to other Disney podcasts. I don't.
Oh, okay.
I listen to other podcasts, but not
Yeah.
Disney podcasts,
Okay.
because maybe this is a little bit conceited, but I like what we do.
I do
and
too.
I think we're pretty good at what we do. And I listen to us, and I listen to our show because I want a money. I've always done it because I'm Monday morning quarterback to make sure that I'm on point and we're delivering a good podcast. But anyway, yeah, Mark and Becky, what other podcasts do you listen to? You can start with Disney related. I know
Sure,
a couple
sure.
from you, Mark, but I don't know if I know any from Becky. Maybe a couple from Becky.
Do you want to go Becky or me or?
Yeah, I could go. So, for Disney related, sometimes I will listen to the Diz.
Yeah.
They have a lot more Disney World content, but I like it just so I can know what's going on over there. Or like right before I have gone to Disney World, I've made sure to get all the info of what's going on.
Yeah.
As far as like every day, there's one that I listen to on Patreon, and it's called Caught in My Web with Jodine Weber. And it's basically not true crime, but like the news and what's going on in different court cases. And I started it because there was a case out of Boston, Karen Reed, and people could look it up if they don't know. But basically, she's accused of running over her husband. Or
Oh, yeah.
her
Oh,
boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I found it very interesting, and so I started listening to her for that, and I really like her input. She's a retired FBI, and so she gives very neutral feedback on things, which I really like. So she kind of lets you think for yourself, but she'll watch the court cases and then tell you what happened, but in a very neutral way.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very different
Yeah.
from Disney.
The Diz podcast, man, those guys have changed so much recently. It's just Rhino, right? That's doing it now?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean, back when they had all the different characters on, and again, I don't want to get into why they've changed, but
Yeah.
but back in the day, it was a pretty fun podcast with all the different people.
Did you listen when they did the Disneyland one back in the day?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, me too. I really enjoyed when they did the Disneyland one.
And that's in fact how we got Michael Bowling on the show, and that's how we're friends with him.
From there.
Yeah, because he lives close to here, in Folsom actually.
Oh, nice. But
Yeah.
he would just be on their show.
Yep.
Okay.
And we did our family Walt Disney Family Museum tour with him and Marcy. Man, what a day that was. But yeah, Michael Bowling, salt of the earth.
Yeah, I also used to listen to the Diz Geek, which you guys had gotten me into that just by talking about it on the show.
Yeah, so that's a good segue. So I still listen to the Diz Geek, even though they're done. They stopped at episode 167 like two years ago. I just go through them 1 through 167.
Crazy.
Just because I enjoy the banter. That's where we got Jay from, and I mean that's where Cherry picked Jay from, and I get a kick out of their comments because their opinions are exactly how they talk about stuff from my generation of Disneyland, and their gripes are the same as mine. Even though it's funny because they haven't done anything in like almost 2 years now. But so I listened to the old ones from them, and then the other one I listened to is Orange Grove 55 from I think they're just on YouTube now. But I listened to their stuff. I think they're pretty insightful. Could be kind of drinking the Disneyland Kool-Aid a little bit too much for my taste, but or take whatever. But I do like that non-Disney. A couple. Well, I listened to John Justice's stuff. We had him on our show. He's got a couple cool, 20-minute podcasts he puts out. I listened to one called not from him, but I listened to one called secret societies, which talks about all kinds of different things in America and the UK. They talk about like the Freemasons and all kinds of weird things that you don't ever really think about, but I do. And that's like, okay, these and I'm always fascinated about those guys. So like the history of the Oddfellows, or like what are these guys doing and why are they around? And the Knights Templar. Those things are interesting.
Yeah.
There's also one called California Insider, which is more of a political one. It's a common sense political podcast that talks about what's going on in California and what the heck's going on here. So it's more of a, I think it's more of a common sense thing if people just listen to what he's going. And that's kind of what I listen to. Oh, Dak Shepard has one that Wendy listens to, and she kind of turned me on to that a little bit. I like his. I like the way that guy thinks, and his commentary is pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's about it. I don't think there's anything else I listen to. How about you?
Well, there are a couple that I will listen to from time to time. The one that probably a lot of people will not be surprised by is Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I do, but it is not like the constant listen with him. I am much more of a guest-driven one with him.
Sure.
In other words, like, oh, who's on the show?
Yep.
Oh, I find that interesting. I'll listen to him. I mean, I haven't listened to the one with Mark Zuckerberg, which is the latest one. Again, time-stamping this episode. But I did listen to one with Mel Gibson, and that was incredibly interesting.
Oh, that guy's an interesting person.
A very interesting individual. And then I haven't listened to one
that
that's
would
like,
be interesting.
And then I listened to one that my brother kind of introduced me to, and it's called Time Suck. It is with Dan Cummings. Is it Dan Cummings or Dave Cummings? Dan Cummings. He's a comedian. Now, what he does in a very comedic way, and this is not for little kids, he will take a topic like Freemasons or a murder cult or anything in history, different things, and he'll suck it, is what he says. Basically, what he does, he goes into it, and it is a long format, 2.5+ hour one.
Oh yeah, that's a big commit.
And he will break. Well, I listened to it at work, luckily. And he will break down and break down the history behind, like he did Night Stalker. He did the cult that were drinking the Kool-Aid. Jonestown.
Yeah, Jonestown.
He did that one, and I didn't know. And out of that,
Ukiah, right?
Exactly. That's where I learned when I was working in Ukiah that's where that cult started, in Ukiah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, and he will run off on tangents, and he's got all these inside jokes, and he will run off on like tangents, and you're like, no way that happened, and he'll come back and be like, yeah, that was all bullshit.
Oh,
I was lying. that didn't really happen. But what happened was that, like, he'll do that to throw people off. I mean,
okay.
His April Fool's episode.
Oh.
A master class in comedy and podcasting. I would recommend anybody listen to it.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
It's 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
But go find it. His April Fool's one from this or last year, 2024.
Okay.
Anyway, and he'll do.
It's called Time Suck?
Time Suck.
Okay.
And he will do like murderers and serial killers, and he'll go back and be like, this is how, and then he kind of traces the history and talks about, basically lays out the entire storyline, and he will go back and in history and all that stuff. So, other than that, I do more YouTube. And so
Adam Carolla.
I listen to Adam Carolla from time to time.
Yeah,
Again, with Adam, it is more guest driven.
Yeah, for sure.
The ones that and the other things that I will spend time with aren't podcasts per se.
Okay.
They're YouTube videos, so I'm not going to bring them up.
Okay.
Unless you want me to. But
Not right now.
Okay.
Because people tune into this show for Disneyland content.
Correct.
All right. So, excellent opening question. That's a little get to know us listeners. So that's the kind of what we listen to if we're not listening to Disneyland stuff.
And I would say if people have any suggestions of ones we might be interested in, let us know.
Yeah, I don't want to hear them. No,
Yeah.
I'm totally kidding. Yeah, please.
Yeah. Are there any any Legoland or SeaWorld podcasts we can get into?
There probably are.
I'm sure there are. Yeah.
I'm sure there are.
I'm sure there are.
Yep.
All right. Excellent. Well, let's move on to the news.
You listen to me now. You are talking about things that you do not understand.
All right, so here's the news for episode 213. We've got a few things to go over. A couple. So let's talk about really some pressing issues here. And Disneyland hotels are housing 100 Disney employees displaced by wildfires.
Good.
More than 60 Disney employees lost their homes in the Palisades. More than 60 Disney employees lost their homes in the Palisades and Eaton fires. The Walt Disney Company is helping hundreds of employees impacted by the deadly and devastating wildfires that destroyed swaths of the Pacific Palisades and Altadena with temporary housing, clothing, and monetary relief. At least 64 employees lost their homes in the Palisades and Eaton fires, and hundreds more remain evacuated from their homes. And that was reported from the New York Times. About 100 displaced Disney employees have been staying in rooms at the Disneyland Hotel, Pixar Place Hotel, and Disney's Grand Californian, according to the Times. Disney will also donate $15 million to the fire relief efforts in the Los Angeles area following the devastating fires that destroyed large parts of the area. Bob Iger said, "We want to help rebuild." And Iger has pledged to have Walt Disney Imagineering help design new town centers in Altadena and Pacific Palisades, and to rally Disney volunteers to set up temporary schools in the wildfire-damaged communities. Rebuilding is not just about money, Iger told the Times. It's about ingenuity and determination. Disney's Employees Relief Fund is providing up to $4,000 for basic household necessities and incidental expenses to cast members impacted by the wildfires. Disney is providing 2 months of free furnished housing to employees with the fire-damaged or destroyed houses who can't immediately return home when evacuation orders are lifted. The Disney Movie Studio Wardrobe Department is also providing clothing and shoes to employees who lost everything in the fires. Generations of Imagineers who conceived, designed, and built the attractions and lands at Disneyland and DCA and other Disney theme parks around the world lost their homes in the Eaton fire that devastated Altadena. Most of the places we all lived are burnt to ashes. Former Imagineer Joe Rody wrote on Instagram, "Altadena was our home and home base." Yeah. I'm gonna say kudos to Disney for stepping up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in a moment like that, everything needs to stop, and then people need to get taken care of.
First and foremost.
Yeah, and I'm glad they're doing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I had thought about that on my trip down there. I go, man, I wonder if area hotels are going to send me a message saying, "Hey, you know what? We need to house people." And I would have told the girls, "You know what? Maybe it isn't the right time for us to go."
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. But I am really glad that Disney's is doing this. They're doing the absolute right thing. Taking care of their Disney family, giving them 2 months rent-free place to get their life together. I don't think 2 months is even enough time, but that's a great start.
But yeah.
It's a great start. They give them $4,000 to cover basic stuff. Definitely thoughts and prayers are with these families, because I just don't know what I would do.
Yeah, I mean,
I really don't.
And these are the moments in time where humanity proves itself to be worthy. When we can look at another human being and see they're suffering for no cause of their own, and other people are stepping up.
Yeah, for sure. And before we move on to the next topic, Becky, did you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think that it's wonderful that they're doing that. I was very happy to see this news.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm happy, and I agree with what you guys said. I mean, when tragedies and things like this happen, that's when kind of push comes to shove, and you just have to be there for people. It's not about money.
No.
It's just stepping in and doing the right thing.
Yes. At this point, that's really what it's about. Mm-hmm. There'll be time for other stuff too. There'll be time for investigations.
Yeah, no.
Yes,
we
absolutely.
Yeah. When I say this, I say this fully knowing what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. When
I've got a bad feeling about this.
When the fire's under control, and we handle that, whoever dropped the ball on the response to this needs to be prosecuted, investigated, and prosecuted if it's warranted. I don't care what letter they have in front of their name,
Sure.
whether it be a D or an R, you failed your community.
You
in
did.
a position where you are. I'm not throwing shade because I don't know who, but
No, and
somebody
yeah.
is out there,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they multiple people, the way I feel, have failed that community
Yeah.
in a level that I have never seen in my life.
Right.
And I don't know who that is, but yeah.
Well, we don't know yet, but
No, we don't know. So that's why.
Okay.
Concentrate on the people.
Yes.
Let's get them the help they need, and when that is taken care of, then we got to figure this out so this never happens again.
yeah.
Yes.
But the main thing is let's get these people
Absolutely.
in a
number one priority.
in a healthy state, mentally, physically, and emotionally, and figure out how
Correct.
they can move forward with that. Okay. So I need the next news items. I need to stand corrected. My last on the 2025 episode, I did predictions where I said, "Hey, Disneyland's not doing any shovels in the ground." Well, they are. And Joey was right because I didn't have time to do a proper response after I had posted it. But Joey was right. They're doing a lot of infrastructure stuff in Adventures Campus off stage, which I did not take into account when I made that comment. So I am going to eat my words and apologize. I got hasty with it.
I'm going to come to your defense, my friend, though.
Okay.
Okay? And because the way DeMauro put it is that he said that they were all shovel ready.
Oh, yeah.
So no, you were wrong and right at the same time.
Oh.
So you were, he was barely correct. So I agreed with you though that most of them that they were not shovel ready. So I can say, well, I was technically wrong.
Yeah.
It's the worst kind of wrong to be, I guess.
Sure.
Technically wrong.
Yeah.
But we all know that the vast majority, and we know this already, that the vast majority of the shovel ready projects are not.
No.
And the only reason, and this is the only one that we know of for sure.
Yes, for sure. That was announced. I mean, there's refurbs going on right now, but
That doesn't count.
This does not count.
Not in my mind.
And what we're talking about is Disneyland starts construction on Adventures Campus expansion. The expansion will add the expansion will add the new Adventures Infinity Defense and Stark Flight Lab attractions to the Marvel superhero themed land, or I should say, corridor is really what it is. Disneyland will start construction this weekend. That was last weekend, at the weekend of my birthday, on the expansion of the Adventures Campus that will add 2 new attractions and double the size of the Marvel themed land at Disney California Adventure. Disneyland will close the Timon parking lot on Sunday, January 12th. That was my birthday, so construction can begin on the Adventures Campus. And yeah, so I'm going to be repeating the same thing here. So we all know about what's going on. The Adventures Infinity Defense Dark Ride will transport riders aboard a world-jumping spaceship to remote worlds and alternate realities throughout the Marvel Universe, utilizing a blend of large-scale built environments and immersive media. I'm interested in that. This is going to sound like a little bit like Rise of the Resistance.
I feel like it.
Yes.
And I think when that opened, remember we made the comment that now that the bar is that high and the tech
Yeah.
is there, that the ability now, I mean, like anything, the first go at anything is going to be the most expensive, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now that they got a better handle on the tech and now they have a couple years of it running, I would hope and pray that they have the tech more streamlined, better running, and more efficient, and they can use it more often now.
Yeah.
I'm down for this one.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one to see what it comes out. And I'm not a Marvel person.
But the
You love
graphics
Marvel.
look really good. Of course, we don't know that they're going to be just like these graphics.
No.
But it looks intriguing.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, I like the idea that it's practical. It's a combination of practical environments and immersive media. Then the other one, the Stark Flight Lab will be set inside Tony Stark's workshop, where riders will fly like Iron Man at the end of an auto factory style robotic arm during a simulated flight.
That one, I feel like I need a Dramamine before I go.
Oh,
probably.
Dude, I was about to say Mark is going to need to take the puke bag with him.
No, yeah, I might, but I will be heavily medicated anyways. I always am.
Wait, do you mean like medicine or air quoting medicine?
No, I'm not quoting.
Only me then. Okay.
It's OTC. It's
Do you take like nausea medicine before?
I absolutely do. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
As a kid, I was totally fine with it, but I don't know, when I got into my early 20s or something, I just was on something, and it just completely, like, I cannot do this anymore. And so now I just don't even take the risk, and it doesn't make me drowsy. So
It's mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter.
yeah, there you go.
Oh, only me? Still only me? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. The red car trolley will also close February 8th in preparation for the construction of this Avengers Infinity Defense Stark Flight Lab. So we'll see about that. All right. So just real quick here, the Magic Kingdom, that's Walt Disney World. I want to say that when people reference Magic Kingdom, they think they're talking about Disney World, but Disneyland used to be called the Magic Kingdom. So I still use them interchangeably. Here's my little soapbox here. Doesn't it bother you when people say I'm going to go to Disney?
No.
It does to me because I don't know what they're talking about.
No, I do.
What are they talking about?
No, because they're usually talking about Florida.
But,
yeah, that's what I always think of too.
Yeah, but what park in Disney are they going to?
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't even care about that. I get the idea. They're going over there.
Yeah, like in general, they're going to the resort.
Okay,
Or
yeah,
whatever, they call it.
Yeah.
See, I gotta just crack my knuckles here and go, I don't like that.
Well,
Like you want them to be specific. Like I am going to Disney's Animal Kingdom.
It's on the same wavelength when they go, oh, I'm gonna go. My favorite ride is the haunted house, and I go, there's no haunted house.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
The Jungle Boat.
yeah.
There's no Jungle Boat.
Yeah, no, I have a problem too. See, I have my thing when it comes to movies. It's like, well, I'm gonna go watch Jaws 1.
Star Wars 1. Actually, there's Star Wars.
There's episode 1, yeah. Or Moana. Oh, I'm gonna watch Moana 1. I'm like, there is no Moana 1.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
It is Moana, and then there's Moana 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so
No, I get it, but whenever I hear the way I have always taken it is that when they say Disney, it's like, okay, well, you're gonna go over there, and you probably mean the Magic Kingdom. You probably mean that, but whatever. The only time that I draw a line is like, wait, Disney? No, you better call Disneyland Disneyland.
Mm-hmm. There's actually a song. Have you heard it? Called "I Want to Go to Disney," or it's "Let's Go to Disney, Disney, see
No.
Mickey, Minnie."
No,
Walk
I'd rather.
down Main Street wearing all our pins.
No, my ears are bleeding now though. Not because of your singing, just because
No,
I can hear the
because of
song.
my singing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't.
It is, but it is about the Florida part.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, off that little thing, Disneyland almost got Space Mountain before the Magic Kingdom because we're celebrating 50 years of Space Mountain at Walt Disney World last week. And here's a quick little history about that real quick. Walt Disney wanted to build Space Mountain at Disneyland a decade before the indoor roller coaster forever altered the skyline of the Magic Kingdom a few years after the debut of the Florida theme park. Disney's Magic Kingdom theme park will celebrate the 50th anniversary of Space Mountain. They did it last week on January 15th. Disney will celebrate the gold anniversary of its own version in May of 2027. Initial plans for Space Mountain by Walt Disney and his Imagineers in the early 1960s conceived of a spaceport in Disneyland's Tomorrowland with 4 separate roller coaster tracks weaving inside and outside a towering futuristic peak with a much less majestic name. Walt and the team had an idea to do a spaceport within Tomorrowland. Disney Imagineer Owen Yashino said on the Disney Plus series called Behind the Attraction, adding that the featured anchor attraction would be Space Voyage. I like Space Mountain better than Space Voyage.
Agreed.
The successful debut of the Matterhorn bobsleds in 1959 at Disneyland prompted Disney to ask his creative team to dream up a space-themed roller coaster for Tomorrowland that would be more technologically advanced and twice as big. Disney legend John Hanch, known as Walt's expert at everything, created the first Space Voyage conceptual sketches. The original concept for what would become Space Mountain had 4 tracks weaving in and out of each other and through a large mountain similar to the Matterhorn track layout. The big advance, a computer-controlled brake blocking system to keep coaster trains from colliding, was way ahead of its time. The project was ultimately put on hold, but it was soon resurrected. And even when, I'm not going to go on with the whole thing because this is a podcast. But it even went on to say that a Disneyland map, like the park maps from 1968, showed an unnamed future attraction in Tomorrowland that looked a lot like Space Mountain with coaster tracks encircling the futuristic peak. Yeah. All right. So that's a little bit of history of.
Very cool.
We could have had it first, but we didn't.
Oh well.
So
We have it
that's
now.
kind of cool. Like basically, they put it on the map, like, oh, this is coming, but didn't really say what it was. fully.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, they've done that before with Disneyland. I mean, they used to have Liberty Square was off of Main Street. Do you remember that?
No.
Right by where you would go to the market house and turn.
Okay.
Yeah, and turn right. There's that little opening there. There's a couple stores in there, and the lockers are back there. That was supposed to go back behind Main Street and become Liberty Square, or Edison Square and Liberty Square. There's two different things.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, those are on park maps. You can still find them. But Florida got a Liberty Square and not us. So they've done that before. But I find that this to be very interesting. Okay, 2 other news items coming in hot from Becky. Hey, Magic Key passes will be going on sale starting January 22nd, no earlier than 9 a.m. Pacific time. All 4 pass types will be available while supplies last. The online queue opens no earlier than 8:45 Pacific time. That's in the morning, with sales beginning no earlier than 9 a.m. Again, this is just a quick refresher of what's available for the passes. I had this all queued up. There are 4 passes available right now. The Imagine Key, and that's only for SoCal residents that live within a specific zip code. That starts at $600. Then the Enchant Key for $974, not $975. Can I give you a deal off of that? Believe Key for $1374, and the Inspire Key for $1749. Those all go on sale this week. I guess that's Wednesday. Crossing the
Wednesday,
T's and
right?
dotting the I's. Yeah. Great. My thought is these should be on sale all the time, and I think they should. I want them just to have another pass. Bring the flex pass back, offer it at a cheaper rate than these other 3.
Yeah.
And then we're golden.
Do you guys have any predictions on how long the passes will be available?
Well, Becky, it's while supplies last. I mean, my guess is probably I'm gonna shoot for a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. I was thinking like 2 days.
Well,
I guess.
yeah, and I don't know why they keep mucking around with this system. I don't understand. Well, I understand what they're trying to do, but it's fairly stupid how much money they're actually losing on this.
Mm-hmm.
Because, use case 36 here. Hey, I'm gonna go to Disneyland with my friends, and we're gonna we haven't been in like 2 or 3 years. Guess what? And we go and we love it. Man, it would be great if I could just buy an annual pass, just use my existing ticket and convert that up, which like you used to be able to do, and get an annual pass. No, sorry, you can't do that right now. So that part bothers me.
Yeah, I guarantee exactly like what you said. People would get it, especially while they have the endorphin rush and they've got all the emotions going on for the trip.
Yep.
Opposed to getting out thinking logically and like, oh well, no, we can go do XYZ instead of go back to Disneyland this year.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. And you're right. They are losing that emotion that people have. Like, oh yeah, let's just go and do it. We can totally go like 6 more times this year, which you won't. But
no.
But I just wish they'd keep these open all the time, and offer like a 5th pass for that made sense for people. Because even the cheapest one that I can get is starting to not make sense for me. But
which one do you have again? I always forget.
It is the Like I said, mine is the one that doesn't allow you to go to the bathrooms there. So I have to go. Mine's
You have to use the ones like across the street.
Yeah, all along. It's good for Harbor Boulevard bathrooms, Walnut, and there's one in downtown Disney they let me use sometimes. No, it's the Enchant key for $9.74.
Okay.
But when I got it, it was $8.50.
Wow.
And when I got it before, it was $5.49. Yeah, that's wonderful, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
So I take it, Udi, no, you're not going to be on the online queue.
No. Well,
What?
the way no,
Oh.
I'm not. The way this ends is when people stop buying. Well, they could be wanting that.
Huh?
They could want people not to get an AP anymore. They've talked about it before,
Yeah.
and when you pull back and you look at it from that lens, then this kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Because they're making it, and Disney's has been excelling at it, is like making it really, really difficult for me to give them my money.
Mm-hmm.
An AP should be captured in that moment, like you're talking about. You get new people coming in, and they go, "Yeah, I want to come here more often," and they want to come, and like the artificial scarcity needs to go away, and the only way that I can possibly think of it going away is if people stop buying into it.
When I have seen it advertised, as far as coming back available, I have seen the wording be something along the lines of Disneyland limits their annual passes to limit crowds in the park. And I feel like that is something that still gets said that I simply do not think is true.
It is 100% not true.
Mm-hmm.
Because why do you do that? Why do you do that? Again, this is when I get mad at Disney because, and every time we bring up AP, it always opens up this can of worms in my head because it's like, you're not taking care of the people who are taking care of you in that moment.
Yeah.
You're looking for the fly-by-nights, and that isn't okay. So, like we said it before, without going into a big old long thing, if you're going to limit the AP, then you better make it more. You better add value to it. Add value to it.
Yeah. And that's one of the things. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
Oh, that's one of the things we talked about on the LTP Lounge last time.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead.
Well, I'm curious if Jacob's going to get one.
He said not this year.
Oh, he did. I couldn't remember. He said not this year. He seemed hesitant.
Yeah, because he said he didn't have anyone to go with, and then I said, well, if you get one, I still have mine. I'm down to go on a whim if I can, and that might persuade someone else to get one, or one of my daughters would go or something. Well, we could figure it out. Yeah, but again, I just wish they'd stop doing this nonsense. Okay. Last news item, we have big haunted mansion change revealed for the classic scene, confirming ongoing rumors. Due to a year of refurbishments, which resulted in an extended haunted mansion outdoor queue and new gift shop, Haunted Mansion Holiday has stuck around longer than usual. When the attraction reopens on January 18th, it's open now as we were doing the podcast. This will be the first time we've seen the regular Haunted Mansion in nearly a year. When the ride reopens, guests will be greeted with a big change for a classic scene and one that has been rumored for quite some time. A new version of the Haunted Mansion bride that changes the tone of the story from the previous version debuted. This bride tells a drastically different storyline than the Black Widow bride, which held an axe as the heads of her husbands vanished from the portraits in the room, adding till death till us part as guests exited the attic. This new version of the Haunted Mansion bride has received updated projections and appears to float while holding a candelabra in her hand rather than an axe. The design of the bride holding a candelabra goes back to the original concepts imaginers had for the Haunted Mansion and connects the bride to the earlier scene in the ride when we see a candelabra floating in the hallway. The candelabra will also appear in a third time in the cemetery crypt at the end of the ride. This new bride still has a beating red heart that is in time to the haunting wedding march that plays in the attic and has far more sorrowful face. according to the executive creative director at Walt Disney Imagineering, Kim Irvine, that is intentional, as the Imagineering team wanted to highlight the sadness in her face. Yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that it was really cool, like especially when I started seeing the photos of her.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's a good update.
Yeah, it's great.
Do you like it, Udi?
Yeah, I mean, I like the original only because it's the original. Like it to me, it holds no like weight either way. Like, oh, this is horrible. I'm not going to get in, all into a tizzy over them changing it, other than it not being the classic. But at least it looks good, and it is a different tone. And I don't mind making that connective line all the way through. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah, I also was thinking, I don't even remember original Haunted Mansion right now. Like, the last time I've done original Haunted Mansion, oh man.
Yeah.
I don't
like
know.
2000, maybe even like 2017 or something.
Seriously?
Yeah, because I went, like the 2 years before the pandemic, I did holiday times, like Halloween, that sort of thing. And then pandemic, and I went, well, it wasn't open when I went the last time. And then the time before that, it was holiday.
Well,
which I don't mind. I love holiday.
Yeah, well, now you're going to go for original, right? When you go?
Yeah, I'll get to see it.
That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Before we get to the news, before we get to the feature presentation, I'm going to read one random awesome facts from the book by Awesome Facts for Disney Fans by Lisa Marie Bopp. I'm just going to
Bop.
randomly stop right here. It says, Disney gets serious. Most people probably associate Disney movies with light and funny stories for children, but even the animated films sometimes take a more serious direction. With Atlantis, The Lost Empire, for example, the filmmakers wanted to pursue an alternative approach. The people in charge wore t-shirts with special inscriptions while working to keep reminding themselves that the film should be more about explosions than songs. Fewer songs, more explosions was written on them. Okay. That is a complete random fact that you listeners probably did not need to know. But great. Okay.
I do like it though. That's interesting, and
yeah.
like to know the creative process, and especially when you think of Disney, you do think of songs. Like I don't know, like what are people doing in their office, just sitting there, like thinking about birds landing on their fingers, singing about it.
Yeah. I think we're gonna take that approach for 2025 for LTP: more explosions, less songs. All right. Okay, I think that's our.
I think we could do it.
Yeah, in fact, that might be the name of this episode. More explosion. Well, maybe I should not be bad taste.
You make that the episode where I sing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yes. And don't think I can't put a beat to that, Becky, because I can.
If you could make that sound good, that's amazing.
I'm still waiting for my tracks, by the way.
You're gonna get some. Okay.
Yeah, I want some too.
You will. It's coming.
Okay.
It's coming.
Okay, good.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get on to the feature presentation.
Are you listening to this episode and planning your next Disneyland getaway? Of course you are. You're a member of the LTP. Well, don't worry about your stay. We've got you covered. Check out our good friends at the Eden Rock Hotel. You can visit their website at EdenRockAnaheim.com and enter the code EdenMagic for 30% off your stay. That's EdenMagic. Now go back to planning the stuff that really matters. And yes, a churro is acceptable for breakfast.
Okay, so this feature presentation is about a trip report. I just was down there a week ago today. I was there. I was there to celebrate my birthday with my daughters, there for 2.5 days. And started off, so you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask them. Any questions to start off with, or you want me just to start talking?
Go for it.
And maybe a question will arise. We got there Saturday afternoon, and we met Jay and his awesome wife for dinner at Storytellers Cafe at the Grand California Hotel. Again, first off, I want to say thank you so much for hanging out with us for dinner with Jay and his wife. Super cool people. very good conversations. Very good conversations. And we all went to Storytellers Cafe. And what that is it's a buffet. They have them for breakfast and and I think they close in the afternoon, then open up in the evening for dinner. So it is situated in the Grand California next to the Hearthstone Lounge. And like I said, it's a buffet. It's a cool spot if you wanna eat a lot. It's a good spot if you want to have some conversations. And this is the first time I had ever been to that buffet or to that restaurant, so I was pleasantly surprised. And I'm curious to see what we'd like for breakfast. How does it compare to Plaza Inn or Goofy's Kitchen? But again, Jay will be on. We had a great time. We were there for a couple hours just talking about stuff, and Jay and I split a picture of this hard seltzer, which is really good, watermelon lime, and it really hit the spot.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Oh my gosh, it was so refreshing. But Jay and his wife are going to be going to Lunar New Year because her birthday is January 31st, and they're going to be going there, and Jay will be on to talk about that as well. Some of his food reviews, and like I said, I am very fortunate to know them, and I'm glad that they're part of the LTP family. One gripe is that I wish that Jay and I were closer in proximity, because Jay would be a guy that I would ask to come over and watch the game on Sunday.
Cool.
Oh,
Or, hey,
great.
we're going to go get drinks at this restaurant. You free tonight? And Jay would be one of those people that I would definitely ask to hang out with, because he's just entertaining. He's got his thoughts on food, and super, I didn't know this about him, but very creative with cars. He was a lowrider club guy, and he wrote for a magazine or two, and he showed me some of his cars, and I'm like, Jay, I had no idea that you could do this stuff. And very good eye for that sort of thing, and I just had no idea, but awesome stuff. And he knows all about those things. I'm like, oh, this is what this is, that is. I'm like, what the heck?
That's so cool.
Yeah, totally cool. So cool. Thank you, Jay, for hanging out with us and hanging out with my daughters on Saturday night. After that, quickly we walked around downtown Disney. We went to Parkside Market. Jay's got his thoughts about that, and I will let him talk about those thoughts on his own. First thought about it is I love the design of where it is. I actually did a video that I sent you guys of me walking upstairs. It's not a place where it's going to be like a quiet place to do work, because they go, there's ports upstairs for charging your phone and outlets, and that is true. There are there, but it's not going to be something where you're going to sit and do work. It is super loud in there. And it could be because it was only open for, a week at that point, and people just very excited about it. I saw some of the salads in the bowls from Soul Sister. They actually looked pretty good. I think it was $18 to $20 for a salad or rice or noodles on top of, you put meat on there or whatever, or there's a vegetarian one. It does actually look like a pretty good deal. The chicken sandwiches were pretty expensive, and I don't know about those yet.
You said they were expensive?
Yeah, very expensive for what you get. I mean, think $18 at least for a chicken sandwich, which is like, who's charging $18 for a chicken sandwich? Well, I guess these guys are. So I'm curious to know how long that's going to last, because I think people should have common sense when they go there and go, oh, what's going on here? But Parkside Market will probably be a cool place for some people. It will definitely. I remember I asked Udi if this is gonna change. Oh, we're gonna do this versus Trader Sam's. Absolutely not.
No.
180 degree different vibe than what this is. So if you're looking for a quiet spot, we can chill with your friends. This is not it, but it's a novelty right now, and I'm curious to see what this is gonna do in the upcoming year. If they're gonna change prices, or But I do like the concept that you can go upstairs, have a seat, and order, and people will bring it to you.
Would you say it's more of a vibe to go up with your kids and not have to be nervous that they drop something on the ground or they were a little bit loud?
100%. 100%. Yeah, it is exactly like that. Becky, you would have no trouble bringing your daughters up there, and they could run around up and down the stairs if they do that sort of thing. and not have trouble. No. Yeah, you don't. I mean, I have no idea what's even going on up there. It's like there's tables over the place and people just whooping it up and everything. I mean, it's
picturing like a cafeteria.
It is. It is very much like a cafeteria. It is very much like a cafeteria. It looks cool though. I mean, I love the design, and I think that's great. And then we just hung out in downtown Disney for like a little bit, and that was really the last time we were in downtown Disney. I was gonna go get coffee there, but we never made it back to the end. So sorry. There's gonna be other trips, I imagine, where I can get coffee at whatever it's called, Sip and Sonder. And those prices were about what you expect to pay at Starbucks. So
Yeah.
Okay. So that goes to the next day for my birthday there at the park. And that was the day that the last day Disneyland Railroad was opened. So we had to start with that. And first and foremost, the park looked beautiful. Absolutely stunning. It was nice to see it not holiday mode, seeing it its natural state. There's no pumpkin, no Christmas tree at the front, no hearts, whatever for Valentine's Day, nothing like that. It was just classic Disneyland, and I loved it. Like I said, park was beautiful. The flowers, the plants. I did spend some time looking around at those things and took note of that. Going on the train was great. The little peephole through Splash Mountain / Tiana is just so small. It isn't anything like you would.
It's not okay. That I was waiting to ask you about that.
Okay.
I purposely didn't text you.
Oh.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah, the little preview window there is not anything big. It's a quick glimpse, and you can see where they have open slots where they could have opened it up, but it's not.
I wonder why.
I have no idea. But the girls are like, "Is that it?" I go, "I guess." But then I turned the video on after going through like Rivers of America. Yeah, for you guys. Yeah, that part was just stunning.
Yeah, it looked beautiful and like the perfect day too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was cold though. I wore shorts and a long sleeve shirt, and I brought a sweatshirt with me, and it was absolutely perfect for that weather. But the following day was cold, like windy cold. Like holy crap, it's windy. I was wearing a beanie most of the day. That's because the wind was going right through my ears. We had no agenda, which is what I like. We were just kind of letting the Disney winds, no pun intended, push us around wherever we wanted to go, and see and try foods. We were looking forward to try little snacks, and it was just a really good time. I felt happy there. Time flies by super fast for me there. Like I can't even believe how fast it goes. On my birthday, we got to go on. I got to do whatever I wanted because the girls let me do whatever I wanted. So we did Jungle Cruise twice. once at daytime, once at night. That's the thing. On Sunday, it was up until midnight. But honestly, after like 8:30, it got cold. People just left, and I'm telling you,
nice.
we did. It's a small world because listen, it is still the Christmas version is up there. They still had wreaths and everything. I took a video of the It's a Small World pavilion area there. It's all Christmas stuff, and the music isn't always. The song is Christmas carols inside of It's a Small World, so you're not stuck with this.
Did you like it better that way?
Yeah, it was more enjoyable for me. But it wasn't not my favorite thing. But when we gone on after that, they weren't doing fireworks or that night because it was too windy. We got on Storybook Canal Boat. There was no one in line. There was only 3 of us on the boat.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
No way.
We walked on everything from 8:30 till 11:45. Anything you wanted, just go on whatever. So we did Big Thunder a couple times. We did Jungle Cruise at night. That was great.
It sounds like people just respected it was your birthday.
Yeah.
And let you have free reign.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Totally did that. Anything we want Indy, we would just walk on. See, even your daughter was excited about that.
Sorry, it's like the Jungle Cruise in my house.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, Matterhorn.
Emphasis on jungle.
A Matterhorn, a 10-minute wait, maybe, and I don't think it was even that much. So yeah, super fun. I was having ice cream on Main Street at 11:45.
I love it.
Stoked about that.
Very cool.
So let's get to TBA because I was able to go on that. I waited. I waited maybe 50 minutes for that. But I
Okay.
brought.
What time did you go?
Well, the peak of the day, probably 2:30 or 3.
Okay.
Okay, nice.
When-
Did you wear a poncho?
I did. I brought ponchos, and I also had a backpack, and I had some. I brought my sandals to put on because I go,
Good,
look, I'm not
yeah.
going to walk around with wet socks, and I was right about that. I'll say this about TBA. You guys saw my video. My post initial thought about it is that I'm going to give kudos to the Imagineers. I think they did what they were told to do. I think the craft is wonderful.
Okay.
The colors were great. The animatronics were great. The colors were really vibrant, and I think what they were tasked to do, they did a good job. That being said, and I don't want to burst anyone's bubble about it, but this is my own opinion about it. Is that like I wasn't a big fan of Splash Mountain prior to this. I love Splash Mountain compared to this.
Wow.
I mean, I could tell you with all sincerity, I don't know what the hell's going on inside that attraction. There were
Like
dark.
just the story.
The
Is all
story
over the
is
place?
so not interesting. The music is so. It is so not even memorable. I mean, Zippity Doo-Dah. It's like a lexicon we have. That I associate that with going to Disneyland. I want to hear that song in the Esplanade.
Yeah.
This, they took an attraction, Splash Mountain, that was e-ticket must do, memorable attraction. It made it to, in my opinion, a non-entity. Like you don't have to do this. You do not have to do this if you don't want to. It will not change. This will not change your life for the better going on this. That's, I mean, but I want you to, and that after that glowing review, I do want you guys to experience it and go, well, maybe Mark was wrong. I do like this, and that's fine. But for me, in my demographic, there's nothing that I could hang on to for this. In fact, I was like, are we already at the lift hill? What's even going on? So, and even the girls are like, that sucked. It really sucked.
Have the girls seen anything on it ahead of time?
Yeah, they've done some POVs on it, and I really had not, at least not for ours. So, I mean, like I said, great for the Imagineering that they put this together. I mean, it's a great thing to put on your resume. Hey, this is what we did. But as far as storyline and rewritability, no, absolutely not. It's something that I'm going to go do once, never have to do it again. Okay, yeah, okay. My feet were ankle deep in water in the log, and I'm so glad I was wearing my sandals. I go, yep, my ankle bone, it's submerged my ankle bone. But yeah, we did wear the and most people were actually wearing those ponchos too. I brought some because I didn't want to spend $8 buy one there.
Speaking of that, I have seen like tips that if you go to the exit ahead of time, people leave their ponchos
Yep.
Yeah.
In fact, right where I was filming that video for you guys, there was a trash bin full of them right there.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's nice.
Yeah, the gift shop is cool, for sure. I'm a little sad because this is a bell they cannot unring, and it's I want to be supported. Go ahead.
Well, okay. So now that we have like, now that I've heard an opinion that I trust,
Yeah.
go on that attraction. In your mind, how long do you give it before they do a rehaul or a revamp or change of that attraction?
Well, Disney's gonna have to swallow their pride.
Yep.
And how long before that?
When nobody's riding it, there you go.
Well, how long did this thing even have on virtual queue? A week and a half? 2 weeks?
If that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not very long at all.
And I think we all call that because we could all we have a tendency, a track record to call everything balls and strikes. We are trying to be as honest and real as we can, and we like what we like, we don't like. And I think we all had that uneasy feeling as the process was coming out or as it was continuing and what we were hearing,
Yeah.
that it was going to be lackluster. We were hoping not, and you guys can go back and listen to us. We were all like, I've got a bad feeling about that, but we want it to be good. We want it to excel. We want Disney to be successful. So I hate that we're right. When I finally go back, I will write it because I'm going to witness that. And like you were saying, Mark, everybody needs to go. You still need to go write it.
Yep.
You still need to go on the attraction and see what's up. But I don't know. I think, again, if you don't like it, don't write it.
Yeah.
For everybody who likes it, I'm glad. Enjoy it. Have a great time. And, enjoy the hell out of it.
Sure.
Cool. But if you don't, then don't go write it. And we shall see. So what do you think? 5 years? 10 years? What?
Probably less than 10 years.
Before they're like, okay, we need to do something with it.
Yeah, this is not...
Okay,
But again, and I mean this sincerely, you, Becky, and Udi write it. In fact, I might be with you when you write it. If you like it, I want to know why you like it, and because maybe it's me that maybe doesn't. But if you go, no, actually, Mark, this part was really good, then I'll go on it again and go, oh yeah, I see what you're talking about. But it's just, and those of you who listen to the show that have been on it, do let me know if you like it, and if so, what is good about it? Because maybe I'm missing something.
Right.
But like my daughter's, like Annika loved Splash Mountain. Like is like, oh, this is it. She's like, nah, this sucks. I'm like, great, wonderful.
Yeah.
I really think too a problem is when they went with a different story. I think had they changed it and they kept with the same story, because the music from that movie is really good.
Yep.
And I think that the message of that movie, like even the kind of greater message of her and the restaurant, or Tiana in the restaurant, and like the relationship with her dad and all of that, that is a story that whether you're into The Princess and the Frog or not, I think people can find some, like, a relationship with that and really like it. Right. I think that they went so off story. I don't know, like, just with something that doesn't grasp at anybody. It doesn't, like, pull at your feelings, your heartstrings, and so we don't have a tie to it. And even Tiana, she's not how we know her. It's like a different version of Tiana.
Correct. That
we can't really, like, relate to. But I'll definitely give you my honest opinion once I do.
Right. And,
in person, but...
For sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, and to that end, to the storytelling, one of the greatest tricks that Disneyland does and Disney parks do in their storytelling is this designed with this reassurance thing, like, okay, everything is going to be okay. Yes. There was no tension that needed to be resolved on this attraction. It was just a nonstop party looking for a band, and you go up the hill after getting shrunken down by Mama Odie, and you go, this is lame sauce. So there was no tension that, there's no danger or laughing place, and, if it's so funny, why aren't you laughing now, sort of thing. And it was like, oh, what the heck's going on here? So
I think with Splash Mountain, whether you were tied to the actual story, like of Song of the South, I don't even think a lot of people who loved it even had any ties to that. It's just the actual story within it.
99% of people had no ties to it.
Yeah, I had never seen it, and I loved it. To me, that was Disneyland. Like, when we were getting ready as kids to go on a trip, that's what my mom was singing to us, or we'd play it in the car as we headed out for a trip. It's just that was it. All of that tied you. Yep. And when you don't have that, I agree with you. I think within 10 years.
Yeah.
Even without seeing it, I've just seen the POVs on YouTube. I think within 10 years, it'll be changed.
Yep.
Well, I think what we've got now is creativity just for the sake of creativity, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, you're right.
One of the things that we have not, that Disney hasn't done for a while now, is the sharpening of the idea, the steel hidden stone. The fire bringing out the better in people. when we're put to task to do better, and if we're resilient enough, we do better, right?
Yes.
And to me, when I hear this, I feel like nobody was telling the Imagineer no.
Yeah.
I'm sure it did happen, okay, but the overall arching feel is like, oh, okay, well, Sally said that. Okay, well, we'll go with that. Bobby said that. Okay, well, we'll do that too. Well, those don't work together. We'll figure it out. You know what I mean?
You don't think Lucasfilm did the same thing with
100% they did.
Yeah, that's why it was like.
Whenever you get a convoluted mess and there is no definitive line,
Yeah.
that means, in my mind, it means lack of direction and lack of vision.
Mm-hmm.
And now hearing that, like remember, we all talked about it, and I'm bringing it up because I want people to realize that we were cheering for this.
We were.
But we are also realistic. Like I said, we balls and strikes, and so now we're gonna have to look at it and go like, well, why are we here with that? And I think that is where we're at. You know,
we're here because it is 100% obvious to me that this is an attraction based on reaction and not being proactive.
Correct.
And instead of having a reaction, but maybe taking a few years to get the story right and the concept, and still going with that decision, they just rush to get something.
Well, that's
and
what I
we're
felt.
able to say, look, we're making changes. Look, we're listening.
Well, that goes back to what I was saying about not being ever directed, and because the creator would be like, oh man, we got a great idea for a story, blah blah blah, and it'd be like, why didn't somebody go like, I like the story, but that isn't for an attraction. What we need to do is we need to go back to what the majority of the people connected with when it comes to that attraction, and that would be the movie, The Prince and the Frog. And if you retell that story with Vasilier, I will tell you, people go to that. They are writing it and being happy. The problem is that they're trying to extend the story in a medium that isn't the best to do in.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, something that I notice, and this would go into even more so in like the movies and that entertainment, is I feel like they want to have like an independent woman character that they want to be cool and they want to be inspiring.
Yep.
But as you mentioned, they don't give any sort of tension or nothing. But as a person, I know even my perspective as a woman, I don't really want to see somebody that just is perfect and gets it right immediately and has no obstacle in their life. Like, what gets you into a character is them like facing adversities and obstacles, and then coming out the other side. And I feel like that is also like lost. If they're creating a new story, it needs to have a build up. It can't just be animals, I don't know, looking for their spice or whatever, their band.
Yeah, like I said, there's no tension, there's no reassurance in this attraction. It's just like, what tells them going on?
So what you're telling me is you don't like a Mary Sue.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
Mary Sue is exactly that. That they're great because.
Okay. I don't know.
Like they have all their power, all their ability. They don't have a hero's journey. They don't have that trial, that tribulation, the hill to climb. They're just they're wonderful, and why? Because they are.
And see, that's something why I won't get into this because I know you don't like it. But like with Wicked, that I think is like people I know I like about the story in general or the characters is that when there is build up, there's tensions, but you can see yourself within both characters, whether they're maybe acting the right way or doing the right thing in that situation. You can still relate to it, or you are cheering for them to do the right thing, or like hoping, seeing when they have the moment to make the right decision or not, and you like could fight for them. I don't know. There's just something that's more impactful and meaningful. And that's true. Like, no, I don't want to see somebody that just gets it right the first time. Like, that's not entertaining to me.
And is that really relatable?
No, it's not relatable. And there's no buildup of there's no character building in that.
No.
Again, yeah, we go back to what I was saying. No, the refinement of the story and the ability to work through, I mean, it is not there anymore. I mean, the reason why good storytelling is good is because you can relate to it. You can identify, and we look beyond the superficial cover of that, right? And the true timeless classic stories, we don't go, at least I don't think there was many people that I know that go like, well, yeah, I identified that person because they look like me. And I go, okay, that may help you, but really, is that what it is? And again, this is where I go back to it. This is the fact that we have gotten to a point where people are unwilling to go through that trial, because in order for you to tell a good story, you need to go through it. So, and now that the fact that they're not going through that, they're not being told no, they're not being told this isn't good enough. It is directly coming out in what they put out.
But again, I want you guys to experience and let me know what you think.
Yeah.
I think it's just a little bit of a downgrade for me personally.
I do want to know why there's so much water in the boats, though.
I don't know.
I always thought that they could control that.
They can.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay, so maybe that's what they want right now. But like, I always thought when it was more this time of year, if you got less wet than in the summer. Or am I totally?
I don't know. You would think that would be correct. I just know that my feet were soaked, but it's okay because my sandals are quick dry, so no big deal.
I will bring sandals with me.
Yeah. Well, so the positive though, the whole Bayou country and all that Poos Corner, it looks great. It's really nice down there. The colors
are cute and everything going in.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the artists and Imagineers did a great job with the task they were given, and it's definitely something you can hang your hat on. And that was all inviting and nice, and it looked beautiful at night. Like I said, the story. This is to me just the story and the music just did not hit on anything for me. So, but you give your own opinion and experience it, and to say, Mark, you're totally wrong, and this is why, and I'm 100% willing to listen.
Okay.
The next item that kind of fell flat for me is Madame Leota's gift shop. After we learned about that particular building being a prefab that you can order for your own house, backyard, if you want.
Yeah.
It kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
The design of it.
The design of it.
Yeah.
Disney has a wealth of talent, Imagineers that could have designed a cooler place than that. Inside, it felt a little congested as far as walking around goes, and I know it's only been open for a few weeks, so I'm going to give it some time. But as Steve mentioned on our LTP Lounge, there's a post right in the middle of the door on the side that faces the Haunted Mansion that you will run into if you're not paying attention. And it's like, yep, this is what he's talking about. And someone is going to run into that. So I like the idea and concept. I just don't think it came out the way that it should have.
It looked like a lot of Nightmare Before Christmas merchandise.
Yeah.
Do you think that was just because of the holidays just ending, or they're going to keep that year round?
No, I think they're going to change that. Only have that for the holidays is my guess, because there's a ton of Haunted Mansion merchandise and themes and concepts that have nothing to do with Nightmare Before Christmas that they could sell, and they should.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah, and by the way, both stores were open. So the one outside of Pieces of 8 or adjacent to Pieces of 8 was open. So that was interesting. What else about the trip that was a highlight? Went to Riverbell Terrace for breakfast. That's always a great place. Love that. said we got to do whatever we wanted to do. Didn't buy a fast pass for anything, even though the Magic Key holders could get like half off. And then all the Magic Key stuff that they were giving away, you had to do a virtual queue for, and that was sold out within minutes. I'm like, okay, so there's a special pin that you can get in a lanyard, but you couldn't get it because you had to join a virtual queue like hours ago. I'm like, okay, well, I don't need that. Space Mountain rocked. I love that. Like I said, like the park was, they kept up the park. I would say really good. I saw someone dump trash on the ground, and within 20 seconds there was a sweeper come by and just pick it up. And I'm thinking, why did that guy drop trash on the ground? And it was people do that, but they do keep an eye on that, and they do make sure the park looks pristine. DCA was as expected. I did a walk around Hollywood Studios back there, the back lot thing. That would be a great spot for Coco, because there's nothing going on back there as far as I'm concerned. Adventures Campus, we were there. The Adventures Corridor was there. I'm looking forward to the new changes because that thing definitely needs it. Cars Land looked wonderful. Pixar Pier looked great. We went on Incredicoaster, had a great time on that. There's something else I was going to say about DCA. I can't think of it right now. But I thought it was good. It's fun to take one or two laps around there. Oh, the girls found this Vietnamese coffee place, which is right at that coffee stand that Jess goes to, right outside.
Okay, uh-huh.
Yep. And it's a nice coffee, and it is so good. I usually have to put a little cream or sweetener in my coffee. This by itself was just wonderful, delightful. So go check out the Vietnamese coffee if you get a chance to, if you're at DCA. Becky, I'm sure you will get a chance to when you go there.
Yeah, that sounds good. Did you have It's Lemon?
We did not. It was on our list, but we just other things we had to eat because Jay and Jay's wife were telling us get this and get that. So we tried other things, but It's Lemon will be on the radar next time I'm there when it's warmer. Like I said, Soarin' was great as usual. Grizzly River Run was closed.
Soarin' it wasn't California, was it?
No, it was Soarin' Around the World.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I know.
I know they're doing California soon.
Yep. They will.
I think it's like in February.
And when are you going?
It's not when I go.
Oh.
I think it's like right the next week or something.
Oh, you're going to be there for Lunar New Year, though.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Mm-hmm. Awesome. I think was there something else about that park that was unusual. No, I don't think so. It was all.
Did you eat anywhere in that park?
So Annika tried a chocolate-covered pineapple that was deep fried.
Oh boy.
My sister sent me that video. Okay, I want to know everything about it.
Well, I didn't try it because it looked like a mess. She bit into one end, all this chocolate came out on the other end. And she's like, "Oh, yeah, it's interesting." She liked it. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. But she said it was really good. It was hot because they make it cooked. They don't have them pre-made, cooked to order.
Oh, they
Good.
it to order.
Yes,
okay.
yes. And
I'll
so
have to tell my sister.
Yep, and that's at Award Wieners, and I don't remember how much it was, $11 or something.
Wow.
Ariel got tacos from the place off of Pacific Wharf, whatever the Mexican restaurant is.
La Cocina something, La Cocina something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barrios, is that Barrios Tacos?
Birria.
Oh, but yeah, those. And it came with like a dipping sauce.
Mm-hmm.
She said those were really, really good. We split a giant pretzel at Pim's Test Kitchen with the beer cheese. That was a classic.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's so good. That and the Vietnamese coffee are the things we had there. I don't think there was anything else we tried. Could have been. Yeah. Oh, shoot. Now, dude, that said...
Ice cream.
We had ice cream on Main Street. Oh, one thing, though, Annika did was pretty funny, and is that she watches TikTok a lot. And I guess there was this, was this special Valentine's Disneyland sweater that came out. It's like a button-up, like a quarter button-up one. It's white, and there's got like a red D on the left chest, and the back has Disneyland logo, and not the script, but like an image and something else. That particular sweater was a hot commodity. Let me tell you something. We were at Pioneer Mercantile, and they brought them out. We happened to be there. They brought them out on a rack. And you would have thought, Becky, that everybody was starving, and they brought like a plate of a plate of steaks out for people. Like, I was like, what the hell is going on? And Annika goes, oh my God, that is the sweater that everyone has to have. And some other lady goes, oh yeah, she's right. This is the one that people want to have. And I go, okay. Have you seen it before, Becky?
No, I haven't seen it. Did Annika get it?
Yeah, she ended up getting it. But it was, in fact, she got it. Well, what she goes, I'm going to put this down. Let's go on an attraction. And if it's going to be here when they come back, I'll get it. I go, you are playing with fire if this thing is that. Mm-hmm. So we did exactly that. And they came back. And sure enough, she had that. Her side was there. And let's see. I have a picture of the front of it for you, Becky. Let's see if I can.
That would have been fun. People watching just to see people going crazy over it.
Oh, yeah.
Like as the rack comes out.
Yeah, and they were, Becky. It was just like, yeah. Okay, check your email or your text.
Oh, that's cute.
See?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I would have been part of the fight for it.
Yeah, so you see how there
I really like that.
Yeah, it's got the hearts on it, the D, and the back is something I forget, but it's a Disneyland. I think the castle, and it says Disneyland in the script, and it says like Valentine's Day or something like that.
Aw, yeah, I love that.
Yeah, well,
it looks soft too.
It is. It's very soft. So she got it, and then the next day she wore it, and Becky, I can't tell you how many times people stopped her and asked where she got that thing.
Aww.
And she goes, "It's at Pioneer Mercantile," but it was gone. It was nowhere to be seen anywhere. They had like a red version, but wasn't like that button-up one. It was like more of a sweatshirt with like a crew neck, but that was not it. And then they had like a fuzzy Spirit jersey that was red. Yeah, fuzzy is the only word I could think of that was Valentine's-esque, but it was not that one. And people was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I said, "Annika, what if someone offered you like $200 for it?" She goes, "No, I wouldn't." And
wow.
Yeah.
Now that I maybe would be like, all right, here you go.
Yeah, probably. I would have done that too. Yeah, sure. I'll give you $200. But no, she's happy with it. So that part was pretty funny.
That's fun.
Yeah. And that kind of stuff I find to be interesting, and because people just losing their mind over it. And I just was like laughing at how it all played out. This is like people are starving for steaks, and we're just serving the plate. Anyways, no, like I said, I'll wrap it up by saying a really good time. I'm glad I went. I did feel a little guilty about going, considering the circumstances around the fires in the area and people losing their homes, and I just here we are, worrying about Valentine's sweaters and fried pineapples and doing our thing. So I felt a little guilty about that, but I don't know how to put it into words. But I mean, so it wasn't lost on me that there was still some tragedy going on. But despite that, the park looked great. There were no maintenance issues, and I am cheering on for Disneyland to get things to do better and get better and keep actually that would suggest that they're not doing better, but they are doing good. But just to keep doing what they're doing, and I look forward to the 70th anniversary coming up on May 16th. I won't be there for that, but with that start date and the end date of the summer of 2026, I would assume I would have gone. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, for sure.
Did you get a birthday button?
I did get a birthday button, and many people said happy birthday. In fact, something that's kind of cool. We did the keeping an eye on closed attractions trick, and we happened to be around within a few feet. We just coming from Adventureland. We noticed Big Thunder was closed. Walked over there, and within a few minutes they opened it up.
Like, woo!
Went on that, And then as we're coming back to the station, we noticed that the line was already jammed up down in there. Shoot. Well, Annika and I got off, and my birthday button on, and there was no one in a car loading. And the cast member goes, "Oh, you two want to ride? I see your button." And I'm like, "Oh, sure. We just got off. No, you can sit on this one right now." And I go, "Oh my God." So we got on, and
Very
we just
cool.
rode. Yeah, just back to back. Errol was like, "No, I'm not doing that. I'm good." So
That's cool.
Yeah. So we got to ride it back to back. That's never happened to me before. But no, everything was great. No big issues except for my personal opinions about Tiana's and Madame Leota's carriage house.
Yep.
I was just saying that area, Magnolia Park area, I thought spectacular. I thought they did a great job. And the girls were like, this looks the same. And I go, you guys, this is like nothing like the same. But you guys are not remembering correctly.
Yeah.
And mansion was closed, so I couldn't walk into the mansion. But I did get a good picture of it.
Beautiful.
I'll send it to you, Becky.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was able just to walk in there and take a quick picture.
You know, Mark, something I don't think I know about you is when you do get there, what is your favorite, like the first ride that you want to go on? Like your first attraction?
Well, for me, this particular one was...
that's a really nice picture.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's really good.
I was
That
able to
looks so pretty.
peek through the fence and do that real quick.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, I don't know why I said real quick, because no one was harassing me to get out of there, but I just did it.
That makes me just want to, load the kids up in the car.
Oh,
as soon as
absolutely.
I'm recording and
Yeah.
we're off.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, no thanks to me. I just happened to be there.
That's so pretty.
Yeah, well, we got popcorn that night too, and just walked around. In the wee hours, we ate a lot. Typically, I go down Main Street, soak up the atmosphere, and I head over to Pirates. This is what I normally do, and I walk through Adventureland and go on Pirates. This time, it's been so long since I've been on the railroad, and I knew that they were going to close it down until May. I go, let's do this. So we did that real quick, and then actually what we did, completely out of pocket, and I brought this up to the girls. I go, we don't normally do this. But we went halfway through, stopped at Toontown, and the girls walked into Galaxy's Edge to get their special chocolate coffee with the Cocoa Puffs on it. And I go, you guys are buffoons for that. But anyways, we did that, and then walked back out, and then did Pirates, and did everything else. And then we did Rise, of course. But there was so the last day we were there, the girls actually went over to DCA. Oh, you know what? I found out something different that I didn't know that you could do this. And this is the park hopping thing.
Okay.
So let's say you go, hey, my first day, my reservation is for Disneyland, and you can't park hop until 11. Well, if it's past 11, you don't have to do that anymore. You can go into whatever park you want without your reservation for one park.
Okay.
So I found that to be interesting, because we talked to someone about that. The cast members.
That's good to know.
Yeah. So if you're running late and you go, I want to go to DCA, and actually that was our last day. We were there because we checked out at 11. We kind of slept in, and I go, we're only going to be here till like 5, and we walked, 20,000 steps both days. The girls were like, I'm kind of tired, but they went into DCA and got their Vietnamese coffee, and I went into Disneyland and walked up and down Main Street, walked down to the hub, and just had some time by myself and soaked up the atmosphere. And that was just super fantastic for me. It's like, this is what I need. We took the double-decker omnibus thing up there.
Cool.
Yeah, that was fun. And on the fire truck, the fire engine was going up and down Main Street as well. And Madame Leota was in there. Not Madame Leota. Cruella DeVille was in there.
Oh, fun.
And she was about like Street Atmosphere. She was making comments about people and pointing things out. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. She's just like she's like laying into people. And I go, I wish they would do more of this. Yeah.
Like being blunt about like the way they're walking or like those sorts of things.
Or what they're wearing or something like that. It was hilarious. I was like, oh, this is
that's fun.
This is cool. This is awesome.
That.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then during that time when I walked back, I went into the firehouse underneath Walt's apartment and walked around in there. And you can go in that fire engine, but I didn't do it, and take a picture, but I didn't do any of that. But that was kind of cool to see all that stuff and touch the fire pole and looked up there and go, this is nice. And then by that time, the girls came back and they had a coffee for me, which is great.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, overall wonderful park. But no, that's what we normally do. We go through Adventureland and go on Pirates, and then that's when I know that I've arrived. So, yeah. But yeah, wonderful time, great time. Any other questions, comments, not remarks? Okay.
No, it looked like a fun trip.
Yeah.
I enjoyed your pictures. I'm glad you guys had a good time.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, so much. Yeah, it was needed for sure. But don't know when my next trip is going to be. Probably, I mean, if Wendy wants to go for food and wine in April or May, I might consider that. Or if Foodie gets on board, we can go with that. But if not, I will probably go in the fall, I would imagine, because I'm blacked out for the summer. And it's too hot anyways. But yeah, I think I'm good for a while.
Like preference as far as fall, would you rather do like around Halloween time, or it doesn't matter about that?
It doesn't matter about that, because September to me is actually really good because the weather's still warm and the holiday decorations are up Halloween decorations are up at that point. So to me, that's like the best time for me, because the hybrid is I can wear shorts and a long sleeve T-shirt and be cool.
Yeah, I always feel like that's a good time too.
Yeah, because summertime, you just walk in and then I wear a backpack or a sling bag, and it's like your back just gets soaking wet, and then you go, oh my gosh, and then the back of your knees start to get sticky, and it sucks. You can't cool down, and this is like, this was not the case. But no, fall is good because I'm usually at that point tired of the Sacramento heat, and man, I need a break, and that's always something I can look forward to. So hopefully, probably in fall.
Yeah, and so then you will see 70th.
I'll see what
at that time. The 70th celebration.
Oh yeah.
At that time too. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm curious to see what they're going to announce about that kind of stuff and all those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I am too. Something I did see. I had thought about saying something during the news, but it was just a lot. But for Sweethearts Night, they did announce some menu stuff, and I wouldn't say anything like turned the wheel for me to want to go necessarily, but I did think it was kind of cool that they were catering to like sit down restaurants.
Yeah. Yep.
And special meals, and I thought that's kind of fun for a date night.
Sure.
More so if you lived close by and could just maybe go in the evening, head home.
Yeah.
But I thought that was nice.
That is nice. And shoot, I mean, if you live closer, that is probably something I would consider doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I mean, as far as their food options, I think they're hitting home runs on everything. Yeah, no issues with anything like that. Went to Carnation Cafe and went to Plaza Inn. We did our usual things. All those were wonderful.
I've noticed too, I think it was Carnation Cafe has a couple items from Jolly Holiday, since Jolly Holiday is closed, such as the Matterhorn macaroon. And I think one of the other macaroons. Oh yeah, I didn't see that offered at all when I was there. Okay, I'll have to look more into it and then maybe talk about it next time in case anybody's looking for something. Oh yeah, but I think Jolly Holiday should be open when you're there. I don't know. It shows it as closed. Really? Yeah, on the app. Oh well, then maybe it is closed. Shoot, I don't know. Yeah, I would think so.
Wait, how long till you go?
I go in a month.
It'll be open.
It should be open. I thought it'd be open. Did you look at what's going to be closed that day?
Yeah, let me pull it up. Yeah, it says, okay, so closed. Pixar Place Hotel, pools, Disneyland Monorail, Disneyland Railroad, Jolly Holiday, Great Moments, and Grizzly River Run. Okay. However, but not a ton closed, other than like the railroad is sad and monorail. I would have actually liked to do the monorail with the kids. Yep. I enjoy that as well. Mm-hmm. For sure.
Well, you got a month. Hope, fingers crossed.
But if not, Becky, there's so many things to eat and try.
Yeah, that is true. My sister's been sending stuff like every day.
Oh, she's excited?
Stuff she wants to try.
Cool.
And,
Well, that will be before Valentine's Day, so good luck if that sweater's there. They might have it.
Yeah, I know. Maybe it will.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up episode number 213. Thank you so much for listening to us go on about stuff. It means a lot to us. Again, if you need more LTP in your life, and who doesn't, every other Thursday we go live for LTP Lounge, 6:30 to 7:30 Pacific time, Indy time, and it is an open forum topic. We will have some things that we'll talk about, but it is going to be hopefully driven by you, the listeners. It's a way for us to engage and learn more about you and talk deeper about things that maybe we just don't get to on the LTP. Disney related, I might add.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's we're gonna limit it to that. If you want to support the show, we make it super simple. Go to leavingtodaypodcast.com, go on support, or also follow us on Instagram at Leaving Today Podcast. We have a link tree on there when all of that subscription stuff is on there as well. Okay, Becky, where can people learn more about you?
You can find me on Instagram at Becky_Weimer, BECKY_WEIMER.
Okay, awesome. And Udi, where can people find out more about you?
You can find me on my other show, The Mando Show.
Yes.
We finished reviewing the Skeleton Crew. And then you can also find me on my socials, which are both Twixer and Instagram, which have the same handle, HAXGOALIE, Haxgoalie.
Awesome. Yep. All right. Again, thank you so much for listening to us. It means a lot. If you want to reach out to us again, info at Leaving Today Podcast, or just send us a DM on Instagram. We are good like that. All right. Until then, we love you. Adventures out there, and we'll see you in the parks.
Bye.
See ya. Are we live?
We are live.
I am a good button pusher.
Can I have the pumpkin brulee, please? Thank you.
Cheers.
All right. Okay. Sorry. Now that I cracked it.
Okay, let's get this
Okay.
going.
Okay, I'm nervous because now I'm going to mess it up.
This is the best part.
He picked a bad week to not drink.
That's a bridge too far, Miss Farfan.
Hang on, sorry, I'm pulling it up.
I'm trying to see. You pushed the wrong button.
I did. I pushed the wrong button.
That's what he said.
Udi, don't say anything.
What are you doing? Flowers? What?
Sure, it can't be any worse than your whiskey and Coke from yesterday morning.
We'll give it a bit.
Yeah, give it a second.
Okay. Woo!
Kitty.
It's like a breath of fresh air.
Boy, was my face red.